Welcome to my channel. In this video I will discuss about DHCP option set, which is a component of a VPC service. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first question is, what is DHCP? DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So what does it mean? Whenever you create a EC2 machine, uh, a private IP address is allocated to the machine, and maybe a public IP address is also allocated based on your subnet settings. This dynamic allocation of IP addressing is done through DHCP. So DHCP is a network management protocol which is used to automate the process of dynamically configuring IP addresses for the devices in a network. So along with the IP addresses, DHCP also assigns some other network configuration parameters to the device on the network, so that they can communicate with other devices and other IP networks. So let us understand the meaning of each term in dynamic host configuration protocol. What does each term means in this? And we will see, as this is a protocol, which means this is a set of rules. So let us see how the IP is dynamically allocated by the DHCP server and what are the set of rules. And we will discuss what exactly is a DHCP server that we are saying. So let us go to the next slide. So suppose we have this network where we have some computers attached to a router, and we have this private network, and we want to add a new device to this network. So suppose we want to add a new computer to this network. This computer can be assigned an IP address in two ways, either static IP or dynamic IP. So assigning a static IP is a manual process in which we need to manually assign the IP to this machine, and it could be a troublesome process if we have a huge network. We need to assign IP address to the computers manually to each computer, and there could also be IP address conflicts if we do it manually. So now in this case, DHCP server comes into picture if we want to assign IP addresses dynamically. So what happens is the DHCP server automatically assigns the IP address from the pool of free IP addresses. So as soon as a computer is added to the network, it requests for an IP address from the DHCP server, and the DHCP server responds with a new IP and assigns a IP from its pool of free IP addresses. So along with the IP address, it also assigns a subnet mask, default gateway, and a DNS server settings. So this is all done automatically by the DHCP server. So the DHCP server uh, also manages some other things which we are calling, there are some other rules. As we said, DHCP is a protocol, so there are some set of rules. So what happens is this IP address 10.0.6.0, or the IP addresses that are assigned to other machines, these are actually assigned as a lease. These are leased to these machines, to these hosts, and the lease is normally for 1 day, and these hosts need to renew their lease. So what is the purpose of assigning these IP addresses as lease is, suppose any computer or any host is removed from the network, then this IP address should also be released and given back to the DHCP server. So if a computer is removed from the network, then it would not be able to ask for renewal of the lease. So the DHCP server will know that this IP address is now free and can be used by other new machines or hosts that would be added to this network. So What happens is when a new computer is added and the DHCP server assigns an IP address to this computer, after some time, maybe one day before the lease expiry, this computer informs the DHCP server that DHCP server to renew this lease, so that the DHCP server knows which IP address is in use. So in this way, these IP addresses pool is managed by the DHCP server. And one more thing here is to notice, this DHCP server can be a physical server in case of large enterprise networks, or it can also be a service which is installed in a router in case of your home network. For example, you have a home network. In that case, the DHCP server could be a service which is installed in your router. So you can check these settings even in your home network. So what you can do is you can go to the command prompt, and you can type ipconfig/all. So it will give you these details, like you can see DHCP enabled. Yes, DHCP is enabled for your router. So whenever a new device is connected to the home network, it gets a dynamic IP. So for example, the IP address of my computer is this, and you can see lease obtained and lease expires. So after one day the lease gets expired, and there is a default gateway which is configured, and we have DHCP server IPs. So all these things are also done in AWS whenever we add a new EC2 machine on our AWS network, or in our AWS VPC. Then in the background, these all DHCP server IP addressing and the other configurations are done by AWS. And through AWS DHCP options set, we have the option to configure some of the settings. So let us see in the next slide what all we can do using DHCP options set in AWS. So through the DHCP options set in our VPC, we can specify network configurations that are provided by Amazon DHCP servers. So we can customize the option sets used by devices in our VPC, or the EC2 instances that we create in our VPC. We can customize the option set for those devices. So DHCP option set gives us control the following aspects of routing in the VPC. First is we can control the DNS servers, domain names, or network time protocols used by the devices in our VPC. And we can also disable DNS resolution in our VPC through DHCP option sets. So let us see through a demo what we can do with DHCP option set. So in this demo, what we will do is we will create our own custom DHCP option set for our VPC, and in that custom DHCP option set, we will configure our own domain name to be used in the EC2 instances. For this, we will create a new VPC and a new DHCP option set associated with this VPC. Then we will create an EC2 instance, and we will check the host name of the EC2 instance to verify that the host name is as per our new DHCP option set. So let us go to our AWS console now and see this practically. So I am in my AWS console, and here if I go to EC2, I have an EC2 instance running. If we see the details of this EC2 instance here, we can see in the host name we have this domain eus2.compute_internal. So what does this mean? From where we get this host name? This host name we get from DHCP option set. This is one of the configurations in DHCP option set. There are others as well, like we discussed, like DNS server, default gateway, and others. But in this example, we will see only the domain name for our understanding. So let us see our VPC. This EC2 instance was created in the default VPC. So let us see the settings for this default VPC. So this is our default VPC. If we see the DHCP option set settings for this VPC, we have this DHCP option set associated with this VPC. So let us see the configurations in this DHCP option set. We can see the domain name is eus2.compute.internal, which we saw in our EC2 instance. So in our EC2 instance, we saw that the host name is has this domain. So let us now create our own DHCP option set. Let us say my custom DHCP option set. So here, for example, we let us give example.com as our domain name, and for now we keep the other things as blank. Now we have created our DHCP option set. Let us also create a new VPC. Let us name it custom VPC. Let us also create a subnet for this VPC. So we created the VPC and subnet. Now with our custom subnet, let us associate our custom DHCP option set. So by default, the default DHCP option set was associated. Let us modify it to our custom DHCP option set. So with our custom VPC, we associated the custom DHCP option set, as we can see. So let us now create a new EC2 instance in this VPC, and we will check what changes are there based on our DHCP option set. Let's name it test instance 2. Change the network settings to the custom network, and then launch instance. So let us now see properties of this EC2 instance. So in the host name, you can see now we have the domain as .example.com. So in this way, we see that we can customize our DHCP option sets according to our requirements. Here in our custom DHCP option set, we had not configured any DNS servers, so this DNS is blank here. So this was all about in this demo. Hope you like the video. If you like the video, please comment and subscribe to my channel if you have already not subscribed. Thank you.